not going to believe what I'm about to tell you.
Live your life within the moment, and don't go wait until the morning. You never know when it is over. All that I know is we'll get older. So let us dance this night away.
Good morning and welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are doing well and you're looking forward to today's episode, which is part 4 of our kitchen makeover renovation. I am so excited to finally be back in the kitchen. I'm just ready for it to be done and pretty and decorated, and I really hope to do that by the end of this month, if not sooner. So if you have not caught up on the last 3 videos of this series, I'll go ahead and link these 3 down below in the description box. The first video was of Mark and I building cubbies that sit on top of our existing cabinets in the kitchen, and it really looks so good because it extends our cabinets all the way up to the ceiling and it really feels finished in there. And then the next 2 videos are of us building our coffee bar, where we built the upper and the lower cabinets of the coffee bar, and it looks fabulous. And so as it sits right now, not a thing has changed since the last time you guys saw the kitchen in part 3. But today we are finally moving forward and we are going to be building the cabinet doors. So over the last couple of hours, Mark and I have trying to figure out how to use our router table. We actually own a router and we used it a couple of years ago, but we just aren't that comfortable with it. We have the router where you have to push it against the edge of the wood to get that nice little curved edge that you're looking for. And we thought for this project, it would be a lot easier if we could have a routing table. That way we can just push the wood against the routing bit and it would make that edge for us. And so, like I said, over the last couple of hours, we've been trying to figure out how to use it, and we think we're ready to go ahead and start cutting on our real wood. But first, we have to go over to Lowe's and pick up all of the wood, because all of the wood that we've been using on our routing table so far has just been past wood from other projects that we've worked on. So we think we now have the confidence to go ahead and get started. So I'm gonna go and just jot down some more measurements just to make sure that we have everything that we need before we get to the store, so that we know exactly how much wood that we need to grab. So let me grab that notebook and then I will meet you guys over at Lowe's. Who needs a man?
Just go up and down a little bit, but then you walk.
Turns out I do. So of course the wood that we need is way up there. There's all sorts of plywood that's down here, but what we need is a sanded plywood made for cabinetry, and it's up there. So now we have to wait for somebody, and he just came to get it for us.
We're looking for this.
All right, we are back from Lowe's and we got all of the wood that we're gonna need for the cabinet doors. And so essentially what we're going to do is we're gonna cut all of these pieces because we already know the sizing of each of our doors. And so we're gonna take a long piece of wood along with a short piece of wood and fit them together. So we'll have 2 long pieces on each side, 2 short pieces in the middle, top and bottom. And so how we're going to do that is we're going to use our router table that we just got and learned how to use, and we're going to be using what's called router bits. And so essentially you can see here how those bits fit together. And so what we're going to do is, using the long piece of wood, we are going to route the edge with one of these bits all the way down, which is going to give us a little bit of a curve on the edge, but then it's also going to cut in a groove. And so we'll do that for all of the long pieces. And then for the short pieces, we're going to do the exact same thing. We'll cut the groove right here, which there'll be like a little bit of a rounded edge. It'll have our groove. And then so once we have both pieces cut, then we'll glue them together and fit them together, hopefully. And then also this groove that will be right here will be able to fit like the flat panel that will go basically the base of the cabinet door. And so hopefully by the end of this segment, we will have at least one door made. It seems pretty easy. We feel that we have the knowledge and the tools to make this happen. Now we just gotta make it happen. So we're gonna pull out all of our tools and get to cutting, and hopefully, like I said, by the end of this segment, we're gonna know how to make cabinet doors. I think you were right. I think it does need to come down some. It's a little.
So you do want a little bit of a lip is okay there.
Mm-hmm.
But
I think that the back is really thin.
I do think that that's a bit thin. I agree with that. So we'll take so that the bottom of that curve comes pretty close to the bottom. It doesn't have to cut through it.
Yeah.
But it can come down.
But you get the idea. You see that curved edge on one side and then the groove in the center. It's gonna be cool. All right, let's try it again.
Yep. Baby happy?
Baby is happy. Look. We did it.
And it looks great.
It looks so good. All right, 1 down, 1 million to go. But that is our first cut piece of wood. Eee! Very proud. is hot, if you can't tell. But we have all of the sides cut, which just makes me so happy. And so now what we need to do, we have all the tall pieces cut, we have all the inside pieces cut. And so now what needs to happen is my assistant Mark, may I have my router bit, please? So, so then we take this router bit, and on these little short sides here and here, we'll cut another groove that goes here so that both of these pieces can fit together. So groove on this piece stays the same. Groove on this piece fits inside of this piece. At least that is the goal. So we're going to change over the bit and keep our fingers crossed. And I caught it. All right, let's get to work.
This doesn't slide through here.
What's it do?
This is cutting wood that's going to fit inside this thing. So the bottom of this metal needs to go here, and this metal needs...
I don't think I follow. I think I need to see it. Surprise, surprise, we have run into a problem. So we are trying to fit this piece of wood into the shorter pieces that go on the bottom and the top of the door. And so we have been trying for like 30 different times to make that cut. And we've made it perfectly once. And our rule is if we can't do it at least 2 or 3 times perfectly in a row, then we're not going to cut our good wood that you saw us already cut. And so you can see here, I mean, perfect, right? We cannot replicate this cut no matter what. Every time we put in another piece of wood, it messes up. Like it chews it all up like this. It looks a hot mess. Look at that. I can't have the wood that we just cut beautifully beat up like that. But see, it's just not fitting. It's all beat up on the ends. There's that lip there that will never work. And so, then we try another piece. And so we put this piece in, and now this piece is a little bit too tight. It doesn't quite fit in there like this, like it's supposed to. It's just, it is so frustrating. It's like, this is so easy. Like we should just be able to push this right through the router. That one is okay. It's a little tight, but I don't know if you can see, but there's like a little lip there, which we could probably deal with and just go ahead and sand that down. But we really want to get it to look like this one, and I don't know how to replicate that cut. That is a perfect cut. And so we're going to continue to try. Mark is actually inside trying to figure out if there's like a jig or a guide or something that we can make sure that every time that we run the piece of wood through the router, that it runs it smoothly without it beating up the wood like you just saw. So stay tuned. I don't know. We might not even be able to finish this today. It'll all just depend on what we can find. We're just going to go look on YouTube and see if there's any tools that we can potentially go pick up so that we can figure out how to replicate this cut over and over and over and over again. Oh, it's so frustrating. I thought we would already have the doors done by now. Joke's on us, and it's like 4:30. So anyway, stay tuned. If you don't see us back here this evening, then we'll see you guys tomorrow.
paint adheres to the surface really well.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, you can pick any color you would like to. If you want to go with the advanced, you know, it's totally fine. You know, for Mayor More, you're just gonna have to be roll and hand brush on areas.
Okay.
You know, So, but yes, basically we'll remove all the hardware, we'll clean all the surfaces with the greaser, everything really nicely, we'll sand everything really nicely, you know, with a light sander. And then it's 1 coat of primer and 2 coats of paint. Everything applied by spray if you go with gallery series.
Okay.
Your kitchen will not be usable for at least, I would say, 2.5 days,
Okay.
3 days.
Right.
If you allow us to use your garage, you'll be saving costs on basically transporting the cabinets.
Yeah.
Because it's hard to transport freshly painted cabinets.
Good morning. So we just had our painter come over and take a look at the cabinets because we're kind of going back and forth about whether or not we want to potentially have professional painters do the cabinets. Now, it's not a fact of that we don't know how to do it because we've done it before. The color that it is right now, we actually used our own spray painter gun, and I think we did a great job. Didn't love the color in the end, but we know how to do it. It's just the fact that we don't want to do it. And so we're thinking, why don't we spend our time trying to figure out how to finish up the cabinet doors as well as build the pantry doors and some storage solutions that we have for inside, and then let the professionals just take care of the painting. So we had him come over today to take a look around, and right now we're waiting for him to send over an estimate. And as long as the estimate isn't too pricey, then I think that we might have them paint the cabinets for us, which actually makes me very happy. The painting of the cabinets actually is the easy part. The hard part is just all of the taping off that you have to do to make sure that you're not getting any paint on any of your appliances or on the walls or on the ceiling, on the floor. And it literally takes a good day, if not another day after that, to finish up all of the taping. So the painting part is easy. It's just all of the prep. And so if they can handle that for us, then it might be worth the money. So we're waiting on him to give us an estimate, and then also onto a solution from yesterday about the cabinet doors. So the long pieces of wood, when we were cutting those and we were putting them through the router, we were routing them through with the grain. So that made the cut a lot easier. But because the shorter pieces, we have to cut just the very end. So we're just cutting the ends of the shorter pieces on each side. That is going against the grain. And as you saw, the routing bit was just eating that up. So after doing some research last night, Mark happened to find this sled tool. And this tool essentially keeps that piece of wood in place so that it doesn't move around, and hopefully the routing bit doesn't chew it up like it did yesterday. And so basically you put the piece of wood into here, you lock everything in, and then this piece here allows you to move it across the routing bit, hopefully making a clean cut. So we have a little bit of work that we have to do this morning, but then we're gonna go outside and see if this works. And if it works, then we could potentially be able to cut all of those pieces and then start to cut the inside backer boards for each of the doors and start to glue them together potentially this evening. So we're gonna try, we're gonna see. I hope that this works. Other than that, I'm not sure what's next, but I think based on what we've seen on YouTube and based on what we've seen in the reviews, this tool is going to work. Fingers crossed. So we are gonna do a little bit of work, gonna continue drinking my coffee, and then I will meet you guys outside in just a short bit.
Life is good, life is great. Yeah, we're gonna celebrate. Blow a kiss to the sun. Yeah, we're just having fun. We can move with the breeze, do whatever we please. Everything's as it should be. Life is good. Like we're at a buffet for the good feelings, and it's all looking lovely. Somebody pass me the bubbly. Feet in the clouds and we're just kicking. Glass in our hands and we're just sipping. And it's about that time, thinking we alright. So let's let go unnecessary. Forget about the ordinary. Yeah, we don't need all that. We can just lay back, let the moment last. Life is good, life is great. Yeah, we're gonna celebrate. Blow a kiss to the sun. Yeah, we're just having fun. We can move with the breeze, do whatever we please. Everything is as it should be. Life is good. Sky so blue and the birds sing out, the merry goes boom, yeah. The kind of feeling that you won't get back. So find a way to make the moment last. Let's have a taste of everything. It's all right here, just beckon in. Put it on your plate, it's amazing. We can have it all, yeah. Yeah, we can have it all. Life is good, life is great. Yeah, we're gonna celebrate. Blow a kiss to the sun. Yeah, we're just having fun. We can move with the breeze, do whatever we please. Everything is as it should be. Life is good.
All right, it is the next day and we are now going to be working on the insert boards that go into our frames. So essentially what we're going to do is just make sure that we're measuring the frame right so that we can fit the insert inside of that. Once that is done, we'll glue everything up, clamp them together, and then those are going to need to sit for a good long while. We really want those to be nice and dry, and then tomorrow we'll come back and do some sanding and hopefully install the hinges. So we have our table saw out, we have our frames over here, the backer board is behind me. I think we have what we need to get started, so let's go.
It should be 40 1/4. Should be accurate.
Okay, so that's going to be our first cut. finished. Well, we have to be finished because Mother Nature said that we are. It is now starting to rain just a little bit. You can probably see the sky up there. It was sunny and then all of a sudden the sun went away and here come the clouds and the sprinkles. But we were able to get all of the cabinet doors done. They're all glued up. They're all clamped. We're going to leave those overnight and then tomorrow we'll come back and unclamp them, sand, and then hopefully start to insert some of the hinges. Fingers crossed. So I will see you guys tomorrow. What I'm about to tell you. All of those cabinet doors that we spent all week in the heat making, they are all way too big. We glued them all up yesterday, clamped them like you guys saw, placed them in the garage as it started to rain last night. And just a little while ago, we're like, okay, let's bring the boards in or the doors in just to see how everything looks, and we can start to kind of mark out the places where we want to put the hinges. And as we put the first one up, we just realized, well, the second one is absolutely not going to fit in that same space. And we realized that all of it is wrong. The measurements for everything is wrong, and we have to start all over again. So, as we have been trying to wrap our brains around like how this happened, because like we don't typically make like huge mistakes like this, how did it happen? And so when we were just going back and we were looking at all of our measurements on paper and then going back to measure everything up on our cabinets, we realized that we have the correct measurements for the cabinet size, but what we didn't take into account was the framing size. I don't know how we didn't do that. I have no idea how we didn't do that, but we didn't. And now everything is just way too big. And the thing that sucks is that we can't even remedy any of the wood because we have everything glued together and clamped together. And I'm telling you, within like a minute, usually those things are already bonded together. There's no ripping them apart without completely destroying them. So we have to literally start all over again. And it has already taken us a week to get to this point. And now we have to start over again. Yep, we did. And I have more news. Mark is currently at Lowe's picking up all of the new wood. So yeah, we'll be starting on that later on this evening. But also, you know how we had our painter come over and take a look at the cabinets and give us an estimate for how much it was going to cost for them to do all of the painting themselves. And so we were like, you know, like I said the other day, we just wanted to like kind of be done with the kitchen. Like I want to see it put together. I'm ready to decorate and make things look pretty and show you guys all the things that I bought for the space and just like see it all come together. I'm ready for that portion of the project. And unfortunately, when we got the estimate this morning, it was $4,500. I'm like, there's absolutely no way we're spending that much money to to paint the cabinets. Like I said earlier in the video, like we know how to do it. We have a paint gun. We have the know-how. We just don't necessarily have the desire to do it, especially at this stage of the project. But we're gonna now have to paint it ourselves because we are not dishing over $4,500 for something that, yes, we could do ourselves. And if we did give them the $4,500, it would save us a lot of time and just hassle of all of the prep. But yeah, we're not doing that. We just can't. I mean, I'm going on vacation, or, you know, I'm going on my pottery residency in France next month, and then vacation right after that. And then my birthday is coming up. Like, we just don't have money to just be dishing out thousands and thousands of dollars to do something that we can do ourselves. And honestly, this is why we kind of do all of these projects our own. I love the projects. I love like learning, and I love like learning how to use all of the tools and all of that. It's very cool. I love it. But if we could afford to pay for somebody to do it, trust and believe we would have somebody do it for us. But you know, that's not the case. And I mean, we paid maybe just a little bit more than that to get our whole entire house painted last summer. So there's no way we're spending $4,500. So that's a wrap. So not only, I'm trying not to spiral, but we now have to redo the doors. And now we have to do all of the painting and. Okay, it's okay. It's okay. Nothing that a dirty martini with delicious blue cheese olives cannot help. All right, I'm gonna sulk in my feelings a little bit more. When Mark gets back, we're gonna go ahead and get cutting again and getting started all over again. And I'm not gonna show you guys that whole process because you just watched that whole process. So we're just gonna do that process all over again. And this time make the right cuts at the right measurements. So when will I pick you guys back up? I'm not sure. It'll only be a few seconds for you, but it's probably gonna be several days for us. But yeah. Send over your good vibes. By the time you guys see this, we'll be finished, but still, just for the rest of this project, just send over the good vibes. How did we do this? You know, it's probably for the best that this happened, just to kind of knock us off of our block a little bit, because everything had been going so perfectly. So maybe we needed this little setback. I don't know. I don't know what the silver lining is, but in just a few seconds, you guys will see doors on the cabinet, and lucky for you, but sucks for us. All right, see you guys later. All right, we are back to where we left off, and over the last several days, Mark and I have rebuilt all of the cabinet doors, and we think that they really look good. We were just looking at them against the ones that we did several days ago, and honestly, night and day difference. The silver lining is we just built much better cabinet doors this time. They really do look so good. And let me tell you, when it's time for us to do the pantry doors next week, we absolutely know what to do and what not to do with those doors. We have learned so much. So right now we have everything all glued up and clamped together, and I'm gonna let those sit for a couple of hours. And while we're letting those sit, I'm gonna go inside and start to edit this video, because today is Friday, and I said in my newsletter this morning that I wasn't even sure how the end of this video is going to turn out, and I don't. But the goal is in a couple of hours we'll come back, start to sand all of the cabinets, and I hope to at least show you how to hinge the cabinet and at least get one cabinet door up onto the cabinetry. That is the goal. But we'll see how everything looks in a couple of hours, and then we'll assess and we'll find out together how this video ends. But has it been a last few days? None of this we could have expected. So anyway, we are now here close to the finish line, and I'm very excited. And now I'm going to go in and edit, and I'll meet you guys back out here in just a couple of hours. Golden hour, you know it's my favorite. I just love this orange glow, so you can tell what time of day it is. But we have hinges, and I am so excited about it. I wasn't sure if we were going to make it to this point within this video, but we at least have hinges on this door. We do have to go ahead and put hinges on all the other doors, but you saw how easy that was. So we're just gonna finish doing that tonight, maybe get one door hung, and if we can do that, then I will film first thing in the morning and what it looks like up on the cabinet, just so that you can see it. But yeah, I'm proud of us. It was a long road, but we finally made it, and I couldn't be happier with these cabinets. Like I said a little bit earlier, I think the silver lining of us having to do these all over again is that we just made much better cabinets this time. There's just like the little spaces on each side. I mean, everything just looks perfect. And so unfortunately we had to learn that mistake, but I think in the end it turned out how it was supposed to. So with that, due to the time of day, I'm going to have to let you guys go here. I hope that you have enjoyed the video. You will get to see at least this door up on the cabinet before I fully wrap up. But I thought that I would just say goodbye here, and then maybe in the morning I can show you guys what it looks like up actually on the cabinets. So with that, I hope that you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll be right back here next Sunday where these doors will all be up on the cabinet, and then we're going to be starting on the countertop as well as the pantry doors. Very, very exciting. All right, guys, have a good one. Bye. 3, 2, 1. Oh, soft close. Does it fit? Does it fit? It fits! Oh, it looks good, honey.
And you know what? It's pretty close. I know there's some adjustments that can be made if need be, but it's